Metro Manila mayors want to put the capital region under a hybrid modified ECQ status starting May 1. What this means is shortened curfew hours and more business activity while retaining strict border controls. The health department says OFWs in India can't go home just yet, as they too are covered by the 2-week travel ban. Health workers are urging the government to revisit the calculation and coverage of the COVID-19 Special Risk Allowance. And the Defense Department has rejected China's calls for the Philippines to stop conducting maritime exercises in the West Philippine Sea. And in lighter news, meet the Filipino artist who holds a Guinness World Record for the largest fast food toy collection. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Metro Manila mayors have submitted to the President the recommendations for the quarantine classification come May. MMDA Chairman Benhur Abalos said that what was proposed is a hybrid or flexible MECQ status. And under this classification, strict border controls will remain in place, but more business activities will be allowed. Curfew hours will also be shortened to between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. To give us his 2 cents on this, Dr. Ranjin Solante, head of San Lazaro Hospital's Infectious Disease Department, joins us over the phone. Good evening, Dr. Solante. From a public health perspective, are you in favor of the so-called hybrid MECQ?
Hi, good evening, Sean. Yeah, I think this is still better compared to what ECQ. We're now experiencing decreasing number of cases, but still not enough to say that our hospital has enough breathing room to accept more cases.
And you agree that it is a good call on the part of the NCR mayors to come up with a middle ground instead of downgrading us to GCQ or General Community Quarantine?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But again, we just need to remind everyone to really implement what we have, what we want in the ground or in the local government unit, which is really adherence to contact tracing, more testing, and isolation of mild cases, and not a bit in the local government responsibility at this point in time.
All right. Today, the DOH also reported a decline in fresh infections. We've noticed this trend over the past week or so. Can we feel this already on the ground? For example, are you seeing less cases being checked into San Lazaro Hospital?
Yes, Sean. No, our cases have decreased a bit the past 3 to 4 days, but still we're getting a lot of this and still above our capacity because most of those that are admitted are really the severe and critical cases. And if you look at severe and critical cases, these are the patients that really consume much of the healthcare resources.
All right. Also recently, this week, the government imposed a 2-week temporary travel ban on India. Should we have done this sooner, or is the timing just right in order, of course, to prevent other strains or variants of COVID from entering our borders?
I think it's the right timing that they did this because the Indian variant, we don't know yet if it's really a variant of concern, although there are possible indications that it is also like the other previous variants of concern. And second, we have to recalculate our plans because there will also be impact on the economy on this matter.
All right. So some reports have it that the surge in India apparently is due to the so-called Indian variant. Do we know anything about the threat of this Indian variant or so-called Indian variant so far?
As of now, based on the updated report on this Indian variant, they're still looking at this. Is it really the same variant as that with the B117 or the South African variant? So we need to monitor this variant because they consider this a double mutation, and just like the other previous variant of concern,
right, speaking of variants of concern, the P3 variant was also the variant to watch here in the Philippines. Having said that, do you think it is possible for us here in the Philippines to see a surge like that of India? And if so, can we take steps to prevent it as early as now?
Our current concern now are the B117 and the B1352, which are really very highly transmissible variants compared to the P3 variant. And I would say that our focus will be on these two variants, increase the testing capacity to detect this variant at all regions, all levels, and hopefully we can have a better idea or what we call idea of what is the current variant that is already dominant in the Philippines. The present protocol in terms of safety protocol, wearing face masks, wearing face shields, and physical distancing will apply regardless of this variant.
All right, we're losing the line a little bit, but I believe Dr. Solante was just pushing forward strict adherence to minimum health protocols such as maintaining physical distancing, the wearing of face masks and face shields, and proper ventilation. Thank you so much for your insights as usual and your time, Dr. Ron Jean Solante, infectious disease expert from San Lazaro Hospital. And the health department says that the travel ban on India also covers Filipinos. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergara said that Filipinos traveling from India will not be allowed to enter the country to ensure that the variants under investigation will not cross into our borders. The Philippines' temporary travel ban on India is from April 29 until May 14, as the populous South Asian country continues to grapple with the surge in infections.
Everybody's seeing what's happening in India right now. The rate of transmission is very, very high. But nevertheless, of course, our country would like to restrict our borders first. Mag-iingat tayo kasi nakikita na natin yung nangyayari sa kanila at ayaw na natin na magkaroon pa ng enabler ang ibang variants na pumasok dito sa ating bansa para makapag-cause pa ng further transmission ng sakit.
We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Health workers are urging the government to rethink its computation for their special risk allowances, or SRA. They also want coverage expanded to those working outside of COVID-19 wards. Greg Gregorio has the story.
Back in November, the government had promised an allowance up to 5,000 pesos each month for healthcare workers exposed to COVID-19 patients. But now, some private and public hospital frontliners are disappointed after receiving meager amounts. One of them is Mark Raven Dominguez, a dialysis unit nurse at a private hospital in Lorenzana. In a tweet, he shared that he was given a measly 681 peso special risk allowance for the months of September to December 2020. This sparked outrage on social media, with some observers saying that this could be the very reason why many Filipino nurses choose to work abroad.
May nakatanggap ng 200, yung akin nga roughly 600. Ganun. O syempre, disappointed ako and feeling na unvalued and unappreciated talaga yung profession.
According to Malacanang's Administrative Order Number 36, health workers shall be given a special risk allowance based on their number of work days. In the case of Dominguez, he's not exactly a COVID ward nurse, but they are sometimes asked to attend to COVID-19 patients who need up to 6 hours of dialysis. Based on the calculation, his SRA translates to only 3 work days.
Imagine, parang kulang pa siya pambili ng vitamins. And kapag nagka-COVID ka pa, luging-lugi ka pa.
He is appealing to the government to rethink the calculations and to expand coverage to other health workers as they are not exempted from possible COVID-19 infection. The health department says it is now looking into the matter. Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeres says health workers should be given their due benefits regardless of their quarantine days.
Kailangan po nating pagsabihan ito pong ating mga ospital o di kaya ay ibang mga ahensya na hindi po dapat pong ibigay dapat kasi ito pong quarantine ay kino-consider natin as a paid time for work.
More than 17,000 healthcare workers have tested positive for the virus as of Monday, with 88 deaths and almost 200 active cases. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. Defense Chief Delfin Lorenzana has rejected the call of China to stop the ongoing maritime exercises by Philippine forces in the West Philippine Sea. Lorenzana says that Beijing has no authority or legal basis to prevent the Philippines from conducting drills in the disputed waters. The PCOO confirms that President Duterte has directed them to give updates on global COVID-19 situation to show that the Philippines is doing better than other countries. News and Information Bureau head Virginia Arcidia Agtay insists that there's nothing wrong with this as they are simply highlighting facts. Samples of liquid waste found in the Manila Bay were positive for oil and grease. The Environment Department is set to issue a notice of violation to the owner of the MV Sarangani to be able to air his side. And in lighter news, a Filipino graphic artist from Pampanga has taken toy collecting to a whole new level. Percival Luge has been collecting toys from fast food chains since he was 5. After nearly 5 decades, he has amassed about 20,000 toys, either donated or personally purchased. Luge has held the Guinness World Record for this since 2014 upon collecting 10,000 toys. He says his dream is to display his collection, to be able to give people a chance to revisit their own childhood memories. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.